Hello viewers, we are glad to have you on today's edition of the Press Today on your Pan-African television, AFRIQUE Media. Let's start today's edition with the Daily Post newspaper from Nigeria. According to the paper, the Chief of Defense Staff, Admiral Olasad Ibrahim, has called on the members of the Islamic militant Boko Haram to form a political party if they feel so strongly about the opinion they want to impose on other people. Admiral Sad stated this on Wednesday in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, during a courtesy visit paid on the Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima at Maiduguri Government House. In another development, the paper reports that Secretary of Board Senator Wale Jibrin on Tuesday revealed that not less than 20 persons have picked forms, including non-members of the board, as preparations heat up for the January 8, 2013 elections of the new chairman of the Board of Trustee BOT of the People's Democratic Party PDP. Now looking at Business Day South Africa, today's edition of the paper cites that the African National Congress ANC is embroiled in row about the voting rights of delegates to its national conference, which could result in considerably delays to the start of the gathering in Mangwan or even its collapse. Just below the kicker, the paper focuses on this other interesting story that says a quarrel over due to tariffs on chicken imported from South Africa could delay fast food giant KFC's re-entry to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwean Finance Minister Tendai Biti drastically increased import duties on his 2013 national budget. Chicken importers now pay 40%. Still in South Africa, we'll be looking at Cape Times newspaper. The paper states that Deputy President Kgalema Motlanthe is to challenge President Jacob Zuma for the leadership of the ANC, despite the numbers being stacked against him. Motlanthe is understood to have formally informed the ANC Electoral Commission of his decision. Motlanthe on Tuesday, after meeting with ANC leaders, said he will accept nomination. The paper again focuses on this story, which says South African National Park Sandparks on Wednesday announced a cash reward of 100,000 rand to anyone who gives information that leads to the successful arrest of a poacher, as well as a 1 million reward for the successful conviction of a poaching mastermind. Looking at the Post newspaper from Zambia, the paper reports that lawyer John Sangwa on Wednesday called for the arrest of Ndola High Court judge in charge Mona Lula Lisimba on charges of corruption and abuse of authority of his office as a judicial officer. Judicial Complaints Authority GCA has acknowledged receipt of the complaints lodged by Sangwa and that of his 3 clients against Lisimba. In another development, the paper states that Kiwe Magistrate Penjani Limba on Tuesday granted MMD President Nevas Mumba and 7 others a K2 million bail each on their own reconnaissance. However, Mumba and the 7 others were on Tuesday taken to Kamfinsa State Prison, where they were remanded. Looking at the Chariots newspaper, it carries on its cover page the caption, UB at 19 graduates 3,500. The University of Buea will be graduating among the 3,500 its first batch of medical doctors. 53 medical students are graduating as full medical doctors after 6 years of rigorous training. Find out more on page 3 about the views of these fresh medical doctors. The paper also says the University of Buea partners with University Housing Corporation UB has signed a contract with the University Housing Corporation awarding to it a 12.5 hectare land for the construction of 2,500 rooms. Read more about this partnership on page 4. The Chariot also says clandestine churches have been burnt in Faku. This development in the Fakol division of the Southwest region stems from the fact that there has been a rapid growth of churches in the Buea municipality. Get the details on page 4. Equally, inform yourself about a new professional master's that has been launched in the Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology in the University of Buea. That is on page 4 still. Now taking you to Asia, I'll be looking at the Wall Street Journal Asia. Today's paper cites that North Korea's first successful flight of a long-range rocket on Wednesday boosted the legitimacy of its authoritarian leader Kim Jong-un, posing a new challenge for the U.S. and other nations attempting reign in his pursuit of weapons and mass destruction. The paper again has this other interesting story that reports that the Federal Reserve refashions its bond buying programs on Wednesday, extending efforts to revitalize the jobs market and boost the economic recovery into 2013. Equally inform yourself on this other story that states Apple Incorporation is working with component suppliers in Asia to test several designs for television sets. People familiar with the situation said, suggesting that the company is moving closer to expanding its offerings for the living rooms. Now, taking you to the United Arab Emirates, we're looking at the Gulf newspaper. According to the paper, Arab and Western countries opposed to President Bashar al-Assad recognized the Syrian National Council as the sole representative of Syria on Wednesday during a conference in Morocco. The Marrakesh talks on the 21-month conflict rocking the Middle Eastern country has brought together representatives from 130 countries, including around 60 ministers, the Syrian opposition and international organizations. It comes a day after U.S. President Barack Obama endorsed the National Coalition as the legitimate representative of the Syrian people. Also inform yourself on this interesting story that reads, President inaugurates another landmark component of Capital's 2013 vision. Get a copy of the Gulf newspaper if you want to know more. Now, looking at today's edition of the Wall Street Journal Europe, in the paper it's written that Barclays PLC plans to eliminate as many as 2,000 jobs in its investment bank as part of a broad restructuring of the company, according to people familiar with the bank's plans, becoming the latest entry in global banking cost-cutting spree. The cut, which the British banking giant is expected to announce early next year, will represent a relatively small slice of Barclays' total investment banking workforce of about 23,000 full-time employees. The paper again writes that the Federal Reserve refashioned its bond buying programs on Wednesday, extending its far-reaching efforts to revitalize the job market, thereby boosting the economic recovery into 2013. Let's end today's edition with this paper, the International Herald Tribune. The paper states that Syrian forces loyal to President Bashar al-Assad have fired squad missiles at rebel fighters in recent days, Obama administration officials said on Wednesday. The move was called a significant escalation in the fighting, which has already killed over 40,000 civilians in nearly 2-year conflict. In another instance, the paper cites that North Korea on Wednesday appeared to have put a satellite into orbit, a boast for the nation's young leader Kim Jong-un in his struggle to be hailed at home as a worthy successor to his father and to be regarded as a serious rival by the United States and its allies in the region. This is where we draw the curtains for the press today on your Pan-African television. Do hang on for more information.